what if death is not an inevitable biological endpoint, but rather a solvable technical error? Imagine a future where human consciousness is no longer tethered to fragile organic matter, but instead exists as pure, transferable data. This radical perspective forces us to reconsider everything we know about identity, mortality, and the boundaries of life itself. Today, we embark on a journey into the heart of deep tech, exploring the science and philosophy behind mind uploading. Is it possible to digitize the very essence of who we are? The answers may redefine the limits of human existence. At the core of human identity lies a vast biological network, 86 billion neurons interconnected by over 100 trillion synapses. These microscopic structures form the substrate for our memories, emotions, and personality traits, encoding the essence of who we are. Imagine the brain as a biological hard drive where every experience and feeling is stored in intricate patterns of electrical and chemical activity. This analogy raises a provocative question. Could we one day back up the data that defines our consciousness? As neuroscience advances, the prospect of digitally preserving the contents of our minds moves from science fiction towards scientific possibility. The implications for memory, selfhood, and even immortality are profound, challenging our understanding of what it means to be human. Silicon Valley has become the epicenter of a radical quest, the pursuit of digital immortality. Startups like Nectome are at the forefront, promising technologies that could one day back up the human mind, preserving memories and identity beyond biological limits. Their approach hinges on advanced brain preservation techniques, aiming to capture the intricate connectome, the neural map believed to encode consciousness. However, this ambition comes with a profound technical and ethical dilemma. The process currently requires the subject to undergo euthanasia, as only a freshly deceased brain can be preserved at the necessary resolution. This raises urgent questions. Is the promise of mind uploading worth the ultimate price? And can society reconcile the pursuit of eternal digital life with the irreversible cost of death? Whole brain emulation stands at the frontier of neuroscience and artificial intelligence, aiming to replicate the intricate architecture of the human mind within a digital substrate. Central to this pursuit is the Connectome map, a comprehensive blueprint of every neural connection in the brain. Scientists face formidable challenges in capturing the sheer complexity and dynamic nature of these networks, requiring breakthroughs in imaging, data processing, and computational modeling. Yet, even as technical barriers are gradually overcome, a profound philosophical paradox emerges. Does a digital upload of consciousness preserve the essence of the individual, or does it merely generate a sophisticated replica? This question strikes at the heart of identity, continuity, and the definition of self. The debate remains unresolved, fueling both excitement and caution as we edge closer to the possibility of digital immortality. At the heart of mind uploading lies a profound dilemma. Does transferring consciousness to a digital substrate grant true immortality, or does it simply create a sophisticated echo of the original self? The distinction is not just philosophical. It challenges the very foundations of what it means to be human. If consciousness is more than the sum of neural patterns, then digital replication may fall short, offering continuity without authenticity. Conversely, if identity is defined by information and memory, then a digital self could, in theory, persist indefinitely. This tension raises urgent questions about the future of personal identity, the ethics of self-replication, and the boundaries of human experience. As technology advances, society must confront whether digital immortality is a genuine evolution or merely the birth of a new kind of ghost in the machine. Personal identity is rooted not in the physical cells that make up our brains, but in the intricate web of neural connections known as the connectome. This network, composed of billions of neurons and trillions of synapses, defines the patterns of thought, memory, and behavior that make each individual unique. As cells die and regenerate over time, it is the enduring structure of these connections that preserves our sense of self. By shifting focus from the cellular level to the architecture of neural wiring, we gain a deeper understanding of consciousness and what it means to be an individual. This perspective challenges traditional notions of identity and opens new avenues for exploring the nature of the mind. The connectome is the complete map of neural connections within a brain, forming the foundation of our thoughts, memories, and sense of self. Unlike the cells that constantly regenerate, it is the specific arrangement of these connections that truly defines who we are. Each neuron links to thousands of others, creating a vast and dynamic network that encodes our experiences and personality. Mapping this web is a monumental scientific challenge, requiring the ability to trace billions of synapses with microscopic precision. Advances in electron microscopy and artificial intelligence have begun to illuminate these hidden pathways, yet the complexity of the human connectome remains staggering. Understanding and replicating this network is not just a technical feat, it is the key to unlocking the mysteries of consciousness and identity. In 2025, researchers accomplished a landmark achievement by mapping the entire brain of a fruit fly, consisting of approximately 3,000 neurons. This intricate project required years of painstaking effort, underscoring the immense technical challenges involved in decoding even relatively simple neural networks. The fruit fly connectome serves as a critical reference point, but the leap to human brain mapping is staggering. The human brain contains billions of neurons and trillions of synapses, making it exponentially more complex. This milestone not only demonstrates the capabilities of current technologies, but also highlights the daunting scale of what lies ahead. Each step forward brings us closer to understanding the architecture of consciousness. Yet, the path to whole brain emulation remains one of the most formidable undertakings in science. Recent technological breakthroughs are fundamentally transforming the field of brain mapping. Electron microscopy now enables scientists to slice brain tissue into layers thinner than a human hair, capturing unprecedented detail at the cellular level. These ultra-thin slices are scanned, producing vast data sets that would be impossible to analyze manually. Artificial intelligence steps in to reconstruct these data sets, piecing together the intricate three-dimensional wiring diagrams of neural networks. This synergy between advanced imaging and AI not only accelerates the mapping process, but also reveals previously inaccessible regions and connections. As a result, researchers are gaining deeper insights into the organization and function of the brain, laying the groundwork for future applications in whole brain emulation and neurological research. Whole brain emulation, or WBE, represents one of the most audacious frontiers in neuroscience and artificial intelligence. The core objective is not merely to simulate a generic brain, but to digitally replicate the precise web of synapses and connections that define an individual's unique neural architecture. This distinction is crucial. While generic brain models can mimic broad cognitive functions, WBE aims to capture the intricate patterns that encode personal memories, personality traits, and consciousness itself. Achieving this requires mapping every neuron and synapse, a challenge magnified by the staggering complexity of the human connectome. The ambition is to create a digital substrate where a person's mind could, in theory, be reconstructed and preserved. This vision pushes the boundaries of technology, demanding breakthroughs in brain imaging, data analysis, and computational modeling. Ultimately, WBE is not about building artificial intelligence. It's about digitally immortalizing the self, neuron by neuron. Recent breakthroughs in connectomics have redefined the boundaries of neuroscience. In April 2025, researchers achieved a landmark feat by mapping a cubic millimeter of the mouse visual cortex, revealing over 200,000 cells and more than 500 million synapses in unprecedented detail. This intricate wiring diagram offers profound insights into how neural circuits are organized and function. Meanwhile, AI-driven systems, such as Cell Transformer, have automated the mapping of brain regions, enabling scientists to chart over 1,300 distinct areas of the mouse brain without manual annotation. These advancements not only accelerate the pace of discovery, but also unlock previously inaccessible territories within the brain's vast network. The integration of artificial intelligence and advanced imaging is rapidly transforming our ability to decode the connectome, bringing us closer to understanding and potentially replicating the complexity of biological intelligence. Mapping the human brain's connectome presents unprecedented challenges, driven by its immense scale and intricate complexity. Unlike the relatively modest neural networks of model organisms, the human brain contains billions of neurons and trillions of synapses, making comprehensive mapping a monumental task. Data acquisition alone demands ultra-high-resolution imaging and vast computational resources to process and analyze the sheer volume of information. To address these obstacles, initiatives like the NIH Brain Initiative are pioneering new technologies, including ultra-fast electron microscopy and advanced machine learning algorithms. These innovations aim to automate and accelerate the mapping process, enabling researchers to decode neural connections with greater precision and speed. The integration of AI with cutting-edge imaging is not just enhancing efficiency, it's redefining what's possible in neuroscience. Yet, despite these advances, achieving a complete and accurate digital emulation of the human brain remains a distant frontier, underscoring the gravity and urgency of ongoing research. Whole brain emulation stands as one of the most profound frontiers in neuroscience and deep technology, demanding both urgency and caution. As we accelerate toward decoding the connectome, we confront fundamental questions about identity and consciousness. The possibility of digitally replicating a mind challenges our understanding of what it means to be human, raising ethical and philosophical dilemmas that cannot be ignored. The stakes are immense. The future of humanity may hinge on how we navigate this convergence of biology and computation. With each breakthrough, we move closer to a reality where the boundaries between organic and digital selves blur, forcing us to reconsider the very nature of existence. The race to map and emulate the brain is not just a technical challenge, it is a defining moment for our species. Imagine unlocking the complete blueprint of the human brain, every neuron, every synapse, every connection. The promise of mapping the human connectome is nothing short of revolutionary, offering insights into consciousness, intelligence, and even mental illness. Yet, the reality is far more daunting. Current technology requires a level of invasiveness that is incompatible with life, demanding the dissection of living tissue at a microscopic scale. This means that, for now, the only way to achieve a perfect map is through methods that no living person could endure. The pursuit of this knowledge comes at a cost so high, it forces us to question the ethical boundaries of scientific progress. Aldehyde-stabilized cryopreservation represents a groundbreaking leap in the preservation of neural architecture. Unlike traditional freezing methods, this technique utilizes chemical fixation to stabilize brain tissue before vitrification, effectively turning the organ into a glass-like state. Every neuron, synapse, and microstructure is locked in place, theoretically allowing for centuries of preservation without degradation. The process is meticulously engineered to prevent ice crystal formation, which can destroy delicate neural connections. By achieving molecular-level stability, researchers hope to enable future revival or detailed mapping of the preserved brain. This radical approach challenges our understanding of biological stasis and opens new frontiers in neuroscience and long-term memory storage. A radical new proposal has emerged from the fringes of neuroscience startups: the use of embalming fluids on living patients, administered under deep anesthesia. The goal is nothing short of perfect neural preservation, capturing the intricate architecture of the brain at a molecular level. Proponents argue that this method could unlock unprecedented fidelity in mapping neural connections, potentially paving the way for future mind uploading or advanced brain research. However, the ethical implications are staggering. Critics warn that crossing this line blurs the boundaries between medical innovation and human experimentation, raising profound questions about consent, risk, and the definition of life itself. The debate is intensifying as advocates push for regulatory approval while opponents demand stricter oversight. This controversial approach could redefine the limits of neuroscience or spark a new era of bioethical conflict. The technique's potential to preserve neural architecture for centuries is undeniably groundbreaking, yet it comes with a formidable cost: the irreversible cessation of biological life. This paradox places us at the intersection of scientific ambition and ethical dilemma. Can the preservation of consciousness justify the loss of the living organism? The implications extend far beyond technical feasibility, challenging our definitions of identity, mortality, and the very essence of existence. As researchers push the boundaries of neural preservation, society must grapple with the profound philosophical questions that arise. The promise of immortality is shadowed by the peril of irreversible transformation, demanding careful consideration from both scientific and ethical perspectives. The information paradox challenges our understanding of consciousness at its core. If we preserve the physical structure of the brain, the intricate web of neurons and synapses, do we genuinely safeguard the essence of what makes us sentient? Emerging research suggests that the brain's architecture alone may not be enough. Critical elements, such as the dynamic flow of chemical signals and the precise timing of neural activity, could be irrevocably lost in the process. These fleeting interactions form the substrate of memory, emotion, and awareness, raising profound questions about the limits of digital immortality. Can a static map ever replicate the fluid complexity of a living mind? Or does true consciousness require something more? The answer remains elusive, fueling ongoing debate at the intersection of neuroscience and technology. Preserving the physical structure of the brain without capturing its software, the intricate patterns of neural activity and memory, raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness and identity. The hardware alone, devoid of the dynamic processes that define thought and experience, remains a static artifact. In this scenario, the preserved brain is little more than a biological relic, lacking the essence that makes it truly alive. Without the software, the potential for reanimation or meaningful continuity is fundamentally compromised. This distinction underscores the critical importance of not just safeguarding the physical substrate, but also understanding and preserving the informational architecture that animates it. Ultimately, the quest to preserve the mind demands a synthesis of both hardware and software, or risk reducing the brain to an inert machine, frozen in time but absent of self. Imagine a future where consciousness is no longer tethered to the biological constraints of the human brain. Mind uploading, the process of transferring one's thoughts, memories, and identity into a digital substrate, offers the tantalizing prospect of digital immortality. This vision has captivated technologists and philosophers alike, promising a radical redefinition of what it means to be human. Yet, beneath the allure lies a labyrinth of unresolved questions, both philosophical and technical, that challenge the very foundations of identity and existence. As we embark on this investigation, we confront paradoxes that blur the line between self and simulation, reality, and replication. The stakes are profound, and the implications reach far beyond mere technological advancement. The copy paradox challenges our assumptions about duplication in the digital age. When we copy a file, be it an image, a document, or a line of code, the result is a perfect replica, indistinguishable from the original. However, duplicating consciousness is an entirely different proposition. Unlike data, a mind is not merely a sequence of bits. It embodies subjective experience, memory, and identity. Copying a mind raises profound questions about continuity, selfhood, and the nature of existence itself. The paradox lies in the fact that while digital information can be cloned without loss, the duplication of consciousness may disrupt the very fabric of what makes us unique. This distinction is at the heart of ongoing debates in artificial intelligence and neuroscience, forcing us to reconsider what it truly means to be an individual in a world of infinite replication. Imagine a future where your biological self and a digital replica coexist, each possessing identical memories, preferences, and even mannerisms. This scenario forces us to confront profound questions about identity and selfhood. Is continuity of consciousness the defining factor, or does authenticity hinge on the physical substrate of our brains? If both versions claim to be you, which one holds the true essence of your identity? The boundaries between original and copy blur, challenging centuries-old philosophical assumptions. As technology advances, the distinction between biological and digital existence becomes increasingly ambiguous, raising urgent ethical and existential dilemmas. Ultimately, the answer may redefine what it means to be human in an era of deep tech transformation. Destructive uploading raises profound questions about identity and continuity. When the biological brain is erased during the process, are we witnessing a genuine transfer of consciousness, or merely the termination of one entity and the birth of another? Some theorists argue that the digital replica, no matter how accurate, may lack the subjective experience of the original. Others contend that if the digital mind retains all memories and personality traits, the distinction becomes philosophical rather than practical. The stakes are high. If destructive uploading is closer to suicide than transfer, the promise of digital immortality could be fundamentally flawed. This dilemma forces us to reconsider what it truly means to persist as an individual in the age of advanced neurotechnology. When a digital copy of a consciousness is created, it inherits a complete set of memories, patterns of thought, and self-perception indistinguishable from the original. The copy may genuinely believe it is the authentic self, recalling every moment and emotion with vivid clarity. This raises profound questions. Does possessing the same memories equate to true identity, or is there an intangible essence lost in translation? Meanwhile, the original consciousness faces an uncertain fate. Does it persist, diminish, or cease altogether? The stark contrast between the copy's conviction and the original's existential ambiguity challenges our fundamental understanding of selfhood. In this digital paradigm, identity becomes a contested territory, shaped by both technological possibility and philosophical uncertainty. As we dive into the concept of digital immortality, a critical question emerges. Does transferring consciousness to a digital substrate truly preserve the essence of self? Or is it merely a sophisticated illusion designed to comfort our existential anxieties? The prevailing narrative suggests that technology can transcend biological limitations, offering a pathway to eternal existence. Yet, beneath this promise lies a complex web of philosophical and ethical dilemmas. Are we genuinely continuing our subjective experience, or simply creating replicas devoid of authentic identity? This investigation demands a rigorous analysis of what it means to be conscious and whether digital continuity equates to true survival. Moreover, the pursuit of digital immortality introduces profound existential risks, challenging our understanding of identity, agency, and the very nature of human existence. As we reach the frontier of mind uploading, profound philosophical and ethical dilemmas remain unresolved. The very definition of survival is challenged. Does transferring consciousness equate to true continuity, or is it simply a sophisticated replication? The pursuit of immortality, once a myth, now stands at the precipice of technological possibility, yet its authenticity is fiercely debated. Are we preserving the essence of self, or constructing digital echoes devoid of genuine identity? These questions force us to confront the boundaries between existence and simulation. Ultimately, the quest for eternal life may reveal more about our fears and aspirations than about the nature of consciousness itself. A profound divide is emerging between biological humanity and its digital counterpart. As advancements in artificial intelligence and neurotechnology accelerate, the line separating mortal existence from the prospect of digital immortality grows sharper. The age-old certainty of human mortality is now being challenged by the possibility of mapping and uploading consciousness, a concept once confined to science fiction, now inching closer to reality. This transformation raises urgent questions about identity, ethics, and the very nature of life itself. Are we truly prepared to confront the consequences of transcending our biological limits? The implications ripple far beyond individual experience, touching the core of society, law, and culture. As we stand on the brink of this technological frontier, the stakes have never been higher. Digital immortality raises profound philosophical and ethical dilemmas, particularly around the nature of selfhood and identity. When we contemplate uploading consciousness, we must ask, does a digital replica genuinely embody the original self? Or is it merely a sophisticated imitation? The continuity of subjective experience, memory, and personal agency becomes ambiguous in a virtual substrate. This irreversible choice trading physical existence for digital persistence forces us to confront what it truly means to be human. Is identity anchored in our biological form, or can it transcend into code and algorithms? The implications ripple far beyond technology, challenging our deepest assumptions about consciousness, mortality, and the soul. As we stand on the threshold of this possibility, the debate intensifies. Would you trust a digital version to carry your essence, or does something irreplaceable vanish in the transition?